right? They're illegal. Right now, Brandon Johnson and the Democrats are criminals. You're locking up guys from smoking drugs and trafficking people across the thing. The bad government's doing it. Right now.
Right.
We're going to sue the bosses. We're going to sue the Democrats as civilians because they're supposed to be agents representing the people they voted for. The agents. I'm a sports agent. If I don't have represent my clients, they fire me. It's time to fire. Don't let the Democrats have that stupid convention here next year. Enough's enough. All I see, right, is the citizens of Chicago marching to the gas chamber. Ever since these scumbags came across the border.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about Chicago because woke mayor Brandon Johnson may be the biggest gaslighting mayor in American history. The amount of gaslighting in this video right here, in the recent statements that Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson has made in response to the illegal immigration crisis, especially towards black people, should be called out. Okay, it should be called out because, like I tell you guys all the time, and this video right here is going to show you exactly what I'm talking about, is proof and evidence. Democrats rely on people being stupid, okay? They think that their constituents, that the people that vote for them are dumb. This is what they think. I promise you. And there's videos like this of Brandon Johnson gaslighting black people into believing that, hey, no, you don't understand. Your resources aren't being used to help illegals. You aren't losing anything when we help illegals because you don't want what the illegals got. You don't want what the illegals have. You don't want any of that stuff. So what are you complaining about? And it's also not the Democrats' fault that the border is open. It's not Biden's fault that the border is open. No, you don't understand. The reason why we have the illegal immigration crisis is because of right-wing extremism. It's because of MAGA. It's because of Republicans, right? This is what this guy is going to say, okay? So I want to go ahead and play a couple clips here before I get into this longer clip. Brandon Johnson gaslighting black people and him also being asked point blank to his face about the polls showing the majority of Chicagoans don't want illegals. I want you guys to watch his response. Take a look.
I'm doing my part to continue to make sure that Chicagoans who have been in this city, who have needed support, and particularly our black families. I know there's been a tremendous burden, particularly on black Chicago. I am fully aware of that. Y'all know where I live. Yeah, I know how many schools have been shut down in Austin, mental health clinics. Administration after administration has taken away from black people, not mine. And I want to make this point very clear as well. We're trying to make sure that migrants are not on floors. So when individuals say that black folks want what migrants want, it's not true. It's not. Black folks want what they deserve. And to compare the needs of black people to individuals who are being forced out of their countries because of bad foreign policy, who are living on floors, comparing the conditions in which descendants of slaves have had to endure to migrants who are sleeping on floors, I question how much you actually care and love about black people and understand their conditions.
I have a follow-up to exactly what you're saying.
All right.
The poll that came out this week, polling people across the city along racial lines on whether Chicago should continue being a sanctuary city. Majority of people, voters said no. And the highest among those were among Latinos and blacks. And one of the reasons why is because of resources. So are you concerned that you are losing, voters on this as this crisis continues?
Thank you for the question. This is not about votes. This is the problem here. If people think that my job is solely based on how I can get the next vote, we'll get to that in the next 3 years. But I got you. Hold on a second. I just want to make sure that I don't want people to believe that the political decisions that the right wing in this country is making is going to force me to make a decision that will go against our values because I'm thinking about votes. Here's what I'm most concerned about. Our constituents and residents of the city of Chicago. I got it. My bigger concern is the fact that we have an alt-right movement, not just in this country, but around the globe, that continues to disrupt black and brown economies.
Yeah, so you see now you heard that. Okay, this dummy just went to the microphone and said, well, it's not about what the voters actually think, right? It's not about what you think. It's not about what the people actually want. No. It's about what I think. It's about what I want. Okay, this is what this man is talking about. It's about my woke ideology, my woke worldview, that all the problems in this country, all the problems in the world are a result of the white man, right? Not just the white man, but more specifically the right-wing white man, okay? This is what this guy is saying. This is what he's saying. He doesn't care about black people, okay? He's telling you straight up to your face. In response to voters, black and brown people say, we don't want illegals here. I don't care, right? I know what's best for you as a progressive. Okay, that's what Brandon Johnson is saying. And what's best for you is for you to share your resources with illegals. Which he then, again, gaslights people. He gaslights people, and just tells black people, no, you don't understand. You don't want to sleep on the floor, right? You don't want what they got. But what he's failing to acknowledge is the fact that there are millions of dollars in resources that are going to help illegals that could go to the black people or the brown people or the white people too, right? They matter too, in Chicago, that you are the mayor of. You're mayor of this city. When you spend millions of dollars on illegals, you are taking away money from so-called black and brown people. There's no other way for you to square that, okay? Only a dummy would believe what this man is trying to sell people. But that's what he thinks. He thinks that black people are stupid. So he comes out here and say, nah, you don't understand. To compare the needs of illegals and the fact that we're helping illegals, that means we're taking away from black people. You're insulting black people. No, what's an insult to black people is for you to think that black people really are going to buy into this explanation that no, spending millions on illegals don't mean that we're not spending millions on you or that we can't spend millions on you. No, that's exactly what it means. Because resources are finite, okay? Resources are not endless. I know you're a socialist, you're a communist, so you might think that resources are endless, but they're not. So again, to all these protesting black people, listen to this man. He's not listening to you, right? He's not listening to you. He doesn't care what you think. Okay, so now I want to get into a longer clip here of Brandon Johnson blaming the Republicans, blaming the GOP for the border crisis instead of blaming Biden, right? He's blaming the GOP. So let's get into it.
Mayor, do you think there's a disconnect between the Biden administration resuming deportations of Venezuelans after they recently cited the dangerous conditions in their home country as part of the reason for extending temporary work authorization?
Yeah, so more gaslighting here from the Biden administration. I want you guys to understand what's going on. Apparently, allegedly, the Biden administration is now going to start deporting Venezuelans directly back to Venezuela, okay, because of the illegal immigration crisis as a way to deter them from coming. Okay, now, I have been advocating for this for the longest time. Like, why don't y'all just send them back to Venezuela? Just deport them straight back. No, we can't do that. The U.S. can't do it because they don't have a diplomatic relationship with Venezuela, so it's impossible. And I'm like, no, it's not, right? It's not impossible, okay? We're the United States of America. We're supposed to be the most powerful country on earth, okay? There's no doubt that we can send them directly back to Venezuela. They just don't want to. Now, all these millions of dollars that have been spent in these liberal cities should have been spent deporting them, giving them a direct flight back to Venezuela, the country that they originated from, okay? I'm just saying. The fact that you keep taking care of them and you're calling them and giving them resources is doing nothing but motivating more of them to come here. And to act like you could not deport them or that it was impossible to deport them and to send them back to Venezuela is just, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it just goes to show you how much of a clown show the administration is at a federal level, and also these mayors are. Because, again, they should be deporting these illegals with all this taxpayer money.
Foreign policy has caused a tremendous amount of destabilization. And so the sanctions, of course, that are causing the turmoil is being brought to us by the right-wing extremists in this country.
Yeah, so I want y'all to understand. The sanctions that are causing the turmoil, right? He's referring to the sanctions that were drafted by Marco Rubio. The same argument that AOC went on television and made, okay? See, again, you know how all these progressives think alike? They all come out here and make the same argument. At first, it was climate change. No, you don't understand. Climate change is why these illegals are coming here, okay? They use that as a way to blame Republicans. Oh, well, see, Republicans not doing anything about climate change, and therefore they're responsible for illegal immigration. Okay, this is how stupid they think you are. Okay, they think you're stupid. Okay, when they realize that people weren't falling for that, now they're trying to play stupid people and say, well, no, it's the sanctions, GOP sanctions. When it's like, okay, well, why are the sanctions in place against Venezuela? It's because of communism, right? It's because of Maduro, okay, and that regime and the human rights abuses that this guy has committed, the atrocities that he's committed against his own people. That's why the sanctions are there. So again, he's not blaming the communist dictator, not blaming him, right, for the fact that people are fleeing the country and the country's destabilized, there's hyperinflation, not blaming the communism, what this guy believes in, right? Not blaming his Conrad, but instead, no, he's blaming the GOP, the people that are trying to punish the regime for oppressing their people and incentivizing their people to flee the country. Again, these people, they rely on people being stupid, okay? And they come out here and they say this silly stuff to excuse what clearly is bad policy from their end, what is clearly their fault, okay? Again, she was asked about the Biden administration. This guy blames the GOP. Amazing.
The real disconnect is the fact that you have global population shifts that have been promulgated by the very failures of the Republican entities that want to score political points by attacking major cities where black and brown people live. That's the disconnect. The Republican Party can't even nominate their own leadership.
You know what's hilarious about this? This guy talk about the attack on black and brown people in these liberal cities. The attack on black and brown people in these liberal cities is because of people like him, right? The person that comes out here and is the wokest among us that pretends he cares about black people, but at the same time lets black people get slaughtered in the street by other black people because he wants to be soft on crime. He believes in defunding the police. He don't believe in locking black criminals up, right? These are the real terrorizers of the black community right here, right? But again, black people haven't woken up and realized that their biggest enemy is the black progressive, right? The black progressive that comes to you and says, oh, the white man is your enemy. The Republican is your enemy. They're causing you harm. It's the systemically racist system. That is the person that is really trying to sell you out, that is screwing you over, that is basically guaranteed that you continue to live in poverty and that you continue to be terrorized by criminals in your own community, that black people never climb the socioeconomic ladder. This guy right here is here to guarantee it never happens. Because as long as black people stay dependent on the government, people like him, he maintains power and control. It's really that simple.
Now, of course, I've said this multiple times. State, county, the federal government has to lean in and do more. And let's be very clear about what's happening here. That you have the destabilization of countries across the globe, which, by the way, are individuals that identify as Afro-Venezuelan or Afro-Colombian. You know, as we're talking about,
who gives a shit? I'm so serious. Who cares, right? Who cares if they're Afro-Colombian, Afro-Venezuelan? What does that got to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything at all? I don't understand, right? I really don't. This race talk, again, I don't get it.
Eliminating tipped wages for black and brown people, we're fighting the same system that doesn't humanize black people across the globe. And isn't it quite disturbing that you have an entire party that is more interested and dedicated to destabilizing black and brown people around the globe than actually passing a freaking budget to make sure that people can eat and have somewhere to live?
See, again, here's the old ropey dope, right? Okay, here's the old shuck and jive here. Oh, you don't understand. As black people, we're on the same team with the migrants. All people of color are on the same team against the white, right-wing, extremist, racist forces that are against us. Okay, we all got the same plight. This is what they try to do. They try to gaslight black people into thinking that, no, you are all the same as all the other colored folks in this grand fight against the white man, right? This is the conspiracy that they push on people to justify bad policies, okay? Or black people being put behind the 8 ball, being sold out for other groups of people. No, we got to help these other groups of people because we're all the same and we're all fighting the white man. This is what you got to understand that. This is what they try to sell to black people. And again, I mean, the sad reality is that black people will probably buy into it and, keep voting for it because, according to him, Brandon Johnson's, that's their brother, right? That's their brother. They love Brandon Johnson, okay?
That's the disconnect. In fact, the last thing that I'll say, at least on this, unless one more person has a question about this, is that I know we're going to get to the other side of this. And I know that the city of Chicago has been incredibly patient with my administration. Everyone knows it's not like I'm calling up relatives from another country saying, y'all want to come live with me?
That's basically what you're doing, right? When you're out here giving them all these resources and being so open about the fact that you're giving them resources, that's what you're doing. That's basically what you're doing. You are incentivizing them to come. That's the problem. That's the problem. Again, he's so stupid. He's so stupid. I don't understand how this man got elected. I really don't. It blows my mind.
Our people know that, and they're frustrated. They're frustrated because, if I could be so bold, when the people of Chicago voted for me and voted for this progressive council,
they voted for this. That's exactly what they voted for, right? And that's the irony of all this, okay? They voted for all this.
Their hopes and aspirations could be realized. And now we have this crisis that has slowed that down. That's what people are frustrated about.
Oh, man.
If people weren't complaining, you could come to the conclusion that they didn't expect much from us.
That's right. No, people are complaining because, again, they feel tricked. They feel bamboozled. They feel hoodwinked. They feel led astray, run amok. However, they really weren't, because I got to give Brandon Johnson credit here. He was honest with these people. I love the illegals. I want them to stay here. I want Chicago to be a sanctuary city. We should share our resources. He said all these things, right? He wasn't trying to trick them. He said all these things. Black people just voted for him anyways because he was black, right? So again, hey, at the end of the day, I think he does kind of have a point, right? These people, they only should be upset with themselves because, again, they had an option, or they had other options to choose from that would not have been as bad as this. But what they voted for is a progressive, communist utopia, and that's exactly what they're going to get. They're going to find out that communism, socialism, ain't as great as these progressives swear up and down that it is.
The real disconnect is that you have an unclean spirit that has captured the right-wing extremists in this country. And I call on them to dig deeper and lean on their faith. As Jesus said, who our neighbors really are.
That's right.
The one on the roadside. Those are our neighbors.
In America, right? In America. Let me add a caveat here, okay? We need to help our neighbors in America. We have homeless vets, homeless people that need mental health care. They need all the resources that are going to these illegals. That's who we should be helping before we help anybody else.
And so we have to do everything in our power to make sure that we respond to the crisis that's right here in Chicago, that is the formulation of decades of disinvestment, while also making sure that we're pushing back on failed foreign policies that continue to destabilize countries across the world.
Failed foreign policies. Okay, so he said nothing about the border not being secure, then blamed the Biden administration for having an open border policy. No, it's the Republicans' fault. It's the right-wing extremists. Again, these people think that you're stupid. They think that you're dumb. Okay, and the level of gaslighting from the Biden administration and from Brandon Johnson is truly legendary stuff. I'm so serious. Anybody believe in this guy, you get what you deserve, right? If you listen to this man and you buy into this nonsense, you're getting exactly what you deserve, okay, as a Chicago resident. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.